from a training camp perspective, I think there's a little bit of pressure on Roger Rosengarten to take that next step. And, fresh scheme should fit him well. I would say he fits much better in a zone scheme. He fits a lot better in what he's going to be asked to do under Dwayne Ledford, under his run game coordination. So I think that's going to help. I think Dwayne Ledford also wants athletic tackles, so he checks that box. I think it's all playing in his favor, but he's still going to show up in camp and especially early in the season and execute, or there could be a very short leash with a competent guy that was a third-round pick sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I think you got to keep in mind now, he has new coaches, right? I mean, Dwayne Ledford wasn't part of the decision to draft him. He was not part of the decision to elevate him into starting spot as a rookie. So he's going to have a new group of coaches he needs to impress and keep happy.
Roger Rosengarten is heading into training camp with a target on his back, and the Ravens put it there themselves. Everyone is treating his starting right tackle spot like it is already decided. Second-round pick, flashed late last season, obviously the guy. That is the comfortable narrative. That is also dangerously wrong. The Ravens spent a third-round pick on Emory Jones, and unlike most depth picks who get buried on the depth chart and develop quietly, Jones has a direct, legitimate path to Rosengarten's starting spot. The new offensive line coach had no part in drafting Rosengarten, no part in handing him that starting role as a rookie. No loyalty, no history. Just a blank slate evaluation at training camp. And if Rosengarten shows up and gives this coaching staff the same inconsistency they watched all of last season, there's a competent scheme-fit alternative sitting right there on the bench, waiting. Before we break down exactly how real this competition is, 3 things you need to know first. 1, Rosengarten's run blocking last season was a genuine problem, not a minor issue, and the Ravens' offense paid for it repeatedly. 2, the new offensive system under Dwayne Ledford specifically demands athletic, zone-fit tackles, and Emory Jones checks that box in a way that creates a real threat. And 3, the excuse that covered Rosengarten all of last year is now completely gone. And without it, there is nowhere to hide. Stay with me, because this situation is more precarious than the fanbase wants to believe. Let's start with an honest audit of what Rosengarten actually gave the Ravens in 2025. Because the revisionist history on this player needs to stop. He was bad early in the season, not developing rookie bad, actually bad. His pass protection improved as the year went on, and there were stretches late in the season where you could see the player he was drafted to become. But his run blocking? It never got there. There were plays blown up at the point of attack directly because of his execution failures. Plays where Derrick Henry should have had a crease and instead got hit behind the line because the block in front of him collapsed. And here is the detail that softened the criticism all season long. The guards next to him were a mess. The interior offensive line was such a disaster in 2025 that Rosengarten's individual struggles got absorbed into a larger unit-wide problem. He became the least of their concerns by comparison. But that cover is gone now. The Ravens brought in Dwayne Ledford as run game coordinator and significantly upgraded the guard position. Which means when training camp starts and the offensive line is evaluated play by play, Rosengarten is no longer going to have subpar guard play next to him to obscure his deficiencies. The line around him is better, which means his mistakes are going to be visible, isolated, and graded by a coaching staff that did not invest any...
I know people keep speaking to Emory Jones as a swing tackle, but I mean, it's great to say, and I think they'll probably push him in that direction if he's not starting. But keep in mind, Emory Jones doesn't really project as a pass-protecting left tackle in his skill set, and he also doesn't have any experience playing left tackle, whereas Roger Rosengarten did play both sides. He switched to right tackle while at the University of Washington, which was protecting the blind side of the left-handed Michael Penix. They moved him over to right tackle.
Dwayne Ledford was not in that Ravens draft room when they selected Roger Rosengarten in the second round. He was not there when the previous staff decided to hand him a starting role as a rookie and build around him going forward. He has no relationship with Rosengarten built over 2 years of development meetings and film sessions. He walks into this job with one question: who gives us the best chance to win? And the answer to that question is going to be determined entirely by what he sees on the practice field. Now here is where Emory Jones becomes a real threat and not just a camp body. Jones was drafted in the 3rd round specifically because this coaching staff wanted him. Ledford wanted him. He projects as a better run blocker than Rosengarten right now, and in a scheme that is going to ask the offensive line to move people and create lanes for Derrick Henry. That matters enormously. The Ravens did not pay Derrick Henry to run into traffic. They paid him to hit gaps that the offensive line opens. And if Jones can open those gaps more reliably than Rosengarten in camp, the conversation changes fast. The counter-argument, and it is a fair one, is that Jones does not have experience at left tackle, and his pass protection profile does not project as a long-term solution on the blind side. Rosengarten, to his credit, played both tackle positions in college, including right tackle, while protecting a left-handed quarterback at Washington. He has the positional versatility and the pass protection ceiling that Jones currently does not. But here is the thing about ceilings. You have to actually reach them. And Rosengarten has not reached as consistently enough to make this job a foregone conclusion heading into year 3. Let me be direct about what I think needs to happen for Rosengarten to lock this job down, because I am not here to write him off. I think he has legitimate starting tackle talent. I think the new scheme actually fits him better than what he was asked to do last year. Zone blocking with athletic movement plays to his strengths in a way that power gap schemes do not. Ledford wants mobile, smart tackles who can reach block and execute on the second level. Rosengarten can do that. But wanting and doing are two different things. And what the Ravens need from him in 2026 is not potential. It is production. Consistent, reliable, week-to-week production that makes the coaching staff confident they can count on him on every single snap. His late-season stretch last year showed the player he can be. The question has always been whether that version of Rosengarten shows up as the baseline or just as the occasional highlight. If he comes into training camp with that end-of-season level as his floor, he wins this job convincingly, and the competition becomes irrelevant by August. If he comes in inconsistent again, Jesse Minter and Dwayne Ledford are not going to protect his feelings because he was a second-round pick. They are building a team to compete for Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson under center. They will play whoever gives them the best shot. And Emory Jones will be right there the entire time, making sure the margin for error is 0. Here is my hottest take on this whole situation, and I want Ravens fans to genuinely hear this. Roger Rosengarten winning this job outright is the best possible outcome for this offense, not just for Rosengarten, but for the entire unit. Because if he comes out in training camp and dominates, if he locks down that right tackle spot and gives Lamar a clean pocket on the right side, while the upgraded guards clear run lanes for Henry, this offensive line becomes one of the most complete in the AFC. That is the upside. That is what a healthy competition with real stakes produces. Rosengarten being comfortable and uncontested going into camp was never going to unlock his ceiling. Having Emory Jones breathing down his neck every single rep of training camp, that might be exactly what he needed. The Ravens did not create this situation to embarrass Rosengarten. They created it to make him better. And how he responds to that pressure is going to tell us everything about what kind of player he actually is. I think he wins the job, but it is not going to be handed to him. And that is the best thing that could have happened to him heading into year 3. Do you think Rosengarten locks down the starting job in camp, or does Emory Jones push this competition all the way to week 1 of the regular season? Drop your take in the comments. I want to know where Ravens fans stand. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button. We are going position by position on this roster and leaving no stone unturned. This is Ravens Report. I'll see you in the next one.